So today we're here for the grade 9-10 spoken words. Can we get a round of applause for our awesome poets? So before we begin with anything, we want to quickly do our traditional welcoming by honoring our ancestors and the people that lived here long before us.
Yeah, so today we acknowledge the traditional territory and honor the ancestors and all the relations who walked this land long before we gathered here today. We would like to acknowledge it with gratitude, this beautiful place where we work right the coast. Salish nations, all my relations.
Before we begin, we want to introduce a super awesome film done by Mr. Schoenhall's film class, which we're going to introduce Theodore Turner.
Hi, my name is Theo, or Theodore, but no one calls me Theodore. So I'm in Mr. Schoenhall's film class. I've been in the film and TV production class for the past 2 years. So yeah, I was told you're going to be watching a couple of our films today. First one is called Resemblance, and it was actually our very first film that we made. It was just me and a friend. So yeah, that'll play. Hope you like it.
Are you talking about it after?
Yeah, chat, have conversations. It's important.
Can we get the lights off? Okay, hold on.
And one thing that we probably all know, but going with the rules of a traditional slam, we don't clap, we snap. So can we hear those snaps? And then, yes, that's beautiful.
At the end of the poem, we clap loudly and enthusiastically. Reward the poet, not the scores. Let's be real. I'll watch you.
Okay, and quickly we're just going to introduce our super awesome judges. Over here we have Mr. Riley, we have Mr. Kang, Miss June, and Miss Leonard. So let's give a round of applause. Okay, so just going along with the traditional rules, the poets, as awesome as they are going to be judged, and we're going to get a number based off of like their poem from 1 to 5. And then if you think it's awful the score they got and you think they deserve higher, we're gonna scream as loud as we can, higher! Like scared the judges.
Just peer pressure though. These poets deserve respect. There are no phones or talking while they're performing, and you only go to the washroom in between poems.
And then if a certain subject matter that the poets are talking about makes you feel uncomfortable or just not so great in any way, we have our awesome counselors on hand if you need to talk to them, and you can also quietly excuse yourself if you need to leave.
Y'all got it? Okay, let's give it up for our first spoken worder, Jeremy Lee, talking about biking.
By the way, it might have some sound effects. Let's go. Fast as a rocket, fast like Sonic. Did that blue hedgehog just pass me? Okay, even though Sonic might be 10 times much faster than what I intended, far from home like a traveling tourist, free from stress. The wind whispers in my face. Bright sky above with a couple clouds ready to cry. Shining sun smiling down on you. Oh, just look at that smile. Two wheels turning as fast as a rolling boulder. Spokes spinning quick as a rotating CD. Holding handlebars tight. Squeeze brakes. Helmet, gear, gloves, and water. Sunglasses protecting, sunglasses protected from sunlight. You know, one of these. Tried two-wheeler bikes to the unicycle. Even though the unicycle I don't ride, because I'm no hardcore one-wheel balancer. Take your pick, whatever suits you. And I'm in trouble. There we go. Just try to bike. Do it for exercise. Strengthen your legs by pushing the pedals. Pushing the pedals too much, your legs will feel like jello. That's pretty good. Ah! Even though your legs are jello, your legs grow stronger. You must stay healthy and fit. Do it for the environment. Use less fossil fuel, whatever that is. It is a pollution-free type of transportation. Do it for freedom. The freedom of no traffic jams. The freedom of no bus schedules. The freedom of car repairs. I don't think I have car insurance. Wait, I don't have a driver's license. What the heck am I talking about? So bike for physical fitness, bike for the environment, bike for your freedom! Now if you'll excuse me, I have to catch up with that blue hedgehog. You can clap now.
Let's see those scores. You guys are ready. You guys got it? Okay, let's see those scores. We see a 3, we have a 3, and... Okay, well, the 3's all around. Give the hand, guys. So next up, we have Sophia Dado with her poem.
It's a scale of 3 to 5. This is a scale of 1 to 5.
Fitting in, the thing some of us want to do. In order to fit in, we change. Change our music tastes, our clothes, and our friends. We lose friends, gain friends, we become plastic. A new toy for people to look at and play with. We start to float off, stop talking to the ones who care, and start with the ones who don't. There's no real reason for fitting in. We only want to because we hear the voices in our head when we pass a crowd, when it tells us we can be a part of the group. It comes and smacks us in the face with the thoughts of those girls who look amazing and have clear skin. Once we see how they look, how they're treated, boys they hang out with. We start our modification process. It's okay for those who aren't bothered by the smell of popularity. We start off easy. Some blush, highlight, mascara, lipstick. Something normal. We put on a shirt that our parents would scold us for. After a week or so, we add more. More makeup, more clothes that if our family saw, we would only be allowed to buy blue band suits. Soon enough, after the third week, we can't recognize ourselves with the pounds of makeup, the shirts that ride up after every question, but that's okay because we don't ask any, and the jeans that might as well be called shorts. We stop acting like we're 14 and 13, we start talking like we're in our 20s. The cans of pop we had now turn into alcohol we snuck from our parents. The lollipops turn into vapes. We force our body into clothes we hate and make us uncomfortable, but hey, those girls are wearing them, and if I want to be friends, I will have to tough it out. It's a disease with no cure. If you aren't infected, then you're a target for sneers, whispers, and those smiles that you can't quite pinpoint if they're sincere. One reason we don't stop is because we don't want to go back to the life where those whispers, the ones we spread, become about us again. We have people we don't know at parties asking for our bodies and wondering what they can do. But hey, that's okay, because at least the cool people are talking to us, right? Even after we mutate our bodies, we come to school and see the girls who look better than us. We realize how stupid we can look in comparison. Our flaws seem to pop back into place. Our thoughts will consist of, hey, that's cute, but if I wear it, I wouldn't be able to pull it off. Or, I could never pull that one off. She could, though. She has a perfect body for things like that. We change when our family's over. We become a child again. I don't want to anymore, but I'm too far in. We can only see through the thick curtain of popularity when you see our younger sisters, our baby sisters, starting to put on lipstick, some blush. She's wearing a shirt that she shouldn't. Your mother confronts her about it, but she wears it, your sister cries. She looks cool, she hangs out with the cool kids. I want to be like that. Your sister, who you want to protect from everything and anything, is starting out like you did. She's getting pulled into fitting in, and you can't stop it. You know what happens when you go down that road. As long as you're up to date on today's beauty and popularity standards, you'll be fine. You only realize that you don't fit in when your so-called friends start to leave you in the dust. They talk behind your back about how they pity you and you try too hard. You've lost the popularity ranking you once had, and you're close to nothing. You are back to square one. Fitting in, the thing some of us want to do.
Now judges, are you ready? Yes? Okay, let's see those scores. We've got a 3.5, a 4, and another 4. Applaud the poet, not the point.
And now we have Julia Moore on toxic friends.
Dear toxic friend, you know who you are. I wasted a whole year following you in your shadow. I felt invisible when I stood next to you. I wish you cared for me a bit more or let me get a say in things. Fights with you ended up with me saying I'm sorry, even though it isn't my fault. But somehow, I still ended up thinking everything's my fault. What did I have to do to have you constantly picking on me? Speaking up and standing up for myself got harder and harder the more I pushed through. I was constantly cautious about what I would wear, say, or do because of you. And when I finally realized you were bad for me, I felt stuck. Like I didn't know what to do. If I dropped you, I'm the bad guy. But if I stayed, I'd feel even worse. For months, staying with you made me unmotivated. I was in your shadow. A year with you, and I never got a say. You tossed me around and chose what we would do. I learned not to speak up, even if I thought it was the right thing to do. I didn't want to hurt you with my opinion, but you let all of yours spill out. You tell people I'm hurting you, and I don't care about how you feel. But I'm the one that let my feelings twirl inside to make sure you don't get mad. Nothing gets talked to face to face. Words get tossed around and twisted through each person. So many lies and rumors that you can't get a minute to stop and breathe. When we finally talk, it's in front of a crowd, and only one of us is talking, the other one yelling. Pushing work, bringing up names who aren't a part of this as more reasons to make me look bad. Words are being pushed into my mouth that I've never said. Again, not getting to speak up because I get shushed and my opinions are pushed to the side. Everything seems like my fault again because I'm the calm one. Now, it's my time to talk. With people listening, no putting words into your mouth like you did to mine, but my truth, my side, my story. I finally get a chance to say what I've been feeling all year, but you aren't here to hear it. I have one more thing to say to you. Thank you for how nicely you treated me.
Okay, judges, do we have those scores ready? In the balance. We got them? Okay, we got a 3.5, a 3.5, and a 3.5. Let's give it up for her and give her a poet on the score.
Next up, we have Lucy Riles with her poem, It's Not My Fault.
It's not my fault. In 12 years, climate change will be practically irreversible and we aren't doing anything to change it. But it's not my fault. The average salary for women is approximately 78% of that of men, but it is not my fault. In China, there are 2 innocent Canadians in prison and the Canadian government can't release them, but it's not my fault. People are always coming to me complaining about all the world's problems and I can't help but think, why are you talking to me about it? It's not like I caused climate change or world hunger. I didn't imprison innocent Canadians in China, so why are you telling me as if I had something to do with it? It's not my fault. Outside of school, I'm a full-time club goalkeeper. And during my games, when I was in a goal or if I kicked the ball and the opposing team would get to it first, I would be whipped. A couple team members would yell from the half line, Lucy, that was yours, or you were supposed to get those, Lucy. But it's not my fault. How could it be my fault if the ball got past the defenders before it got to me? And if I didn't put any effort, didn't care, then yes, it would be my fault. But that's not the case. To the rest of the world, take responsibility for your mistakes leading to the goals and stop focusing on why your goalkeeper didn't make the save. And that doesn't just apply to soccer. Instead of blaming the goalie, think to yourself first and say, well, maybe I could have made a better pass, or I shouldn't have given the ball away, instead of, well, the goalie should have saved it. Yes, the world is getting warmer, and yes, women are paid less than men, and yes, people are stuck in jail without fault, but why can't we take responsibility and change it? We can't wait until it's too late to do anything just because you thought to yourself, it's not my fault. Someone else will fix it. Someone else will solve world hunger, climate change, or whatever else may be going on, but if it's not your fault, whose is it then? Nobody else is going to solve our problems if we all think that someone else will do it. To fix this, we need to be positive and take responsibility. Talk about cats being rescued from the top of trees and that we all have houses to live in and food to eat, rather than the people suffering in Africa and how someone should do something about it. Stop the negativity before it spreads. Next time, think before you rant, complain, and blame someone in your path so that your peers don't start their day off with a story about why you lost your soccer game. But why do I still have to listen to people complaining about what is going on around the world when I'm not involved? It is not my fault. So to the people ranting about the world's problems and how your goalie didn't save the day, take responsibility instead of blaming others. We never stop and realize that the listener doesn't want to hear all of your problems. And standing here, I realize that I'm complaining to you the same way that people rant to me. You probably don't want to hear about why I lost my soccer game. You aren't yelling from the half line, and you aren't blaming your mistakes on the goalie. You didn't make me write the spoken word, so it's not your fault. It's mine.
Okay, judges. Do we have it? Okay, so we got some scores. We got a 4. We got a 4.5 and another 4.5. Applaud the poet, not the poet.
Now we have Lauren please think about wasted dreams.
Wasted dreams, like streams of aspiration being crushed by the insignificant voice inside your head, echoing that you're simply not good enough. But don't waste your dreams, my uncle friend. When you are a child, dreaming about all the world has in store for you, but that slowly starts to diminish in thin air. You can't bear these unfair conditions, yet they say vitality is the reality. Tick-tock, there's the clock, it's too late. You can't appreciate the state of what they put you in. You can't be free from damaging, dishonest demons, discriminating your actions until you have a reaction, wasted dreams. The why would you do that? And the oh, that's so lame, making you feel at blame until you can't reach your aim. WASTE, DREAMS, wasted dreams. You say the voice is not so bad, but it makes you feel so terribly mad. You try to be glad, but you're just way too sad because of all that's going on inside your head. You You dread away your dreams until the beams of light are no longer on yourself, and the streams of aspiration are now lost in the dark night. It's not so bright when the immature, ignorant, insane voice inside your head is causing you to doubt yourself, making you want to shout, wasted dreams. The negativity has been there since the beginning, keeping you from grinning, preventing you from being your true self. But the reality is that it's your choice to use your voice. Oh, that negativity, neglect, reject, forget. But instead, strive for the intellect. Ignore the one that's bringing you down and straighten up your crown. When following your dreams, it can be so hard to stay stable, but you are able. S-T-R-I-V-E, strive. Continue striving for your dreams rather than diving, because when you're thriving, the positivity will give you the motivity to follow the path you desire. The voice inside your head is a deliberate liar. Stop letting others define you. Be yourself and be proud of it. Stick out of the crowd, be loud, express yourself and follow your dreams. Be confident, not dissonant, and the center of astonishment in your life. Have the strength to follow your dreams no matter what anyone says, because I've come to realize that life isn't about finding yourself, it's about creating yourself. In the end, no matter what's going on inside your head, don't waste your dreams, my uncle said.
Hey, Jen, do we have scores yet? Yes. Okay. You ready? Okay, let's see what we got. We got a 4. We got a 3.5. We got a 4. Let's give it up to the poet on the score.
Next up, we have Alexis Hart with her poem, Insecurities.
Dear insecurities, we feel little about others are the things we hate about ourselves. Her bottle green eyes that sparkle when she bats her lashes. Her freckled skin that glows when the sun just kisses her cheeks. Her gentle smile that lights up an entire room. But what about me? The painful scars of acne that never seem to leave. The rolls of skin that just fall beneath my chin. The massive forehead that just makes you want to tuck yourself deep down inside your head. Disgusting. The word will right off your text without a second thought. The word shoots at you with nowhere to hide. The word just hits you like a tornado at full force, sucking you up into a world full of shame. But why? What's their purpose? We all want to be perfect. I hate to break it to you, but perfect isn't possible. We stare at ourselves endlessly into our mirror and just hope that one day we will soon be perfect. If you truly want to be happy, just stop and realize that every little freckle on your cheek and stretch mark on your stomach tells a story. Gross, fat, ugly, disgusting, all shooting at you like darts, all full of jealousy, hatred, sadness, trying to knock you down like bowling pins. I remember sitting in my room one night because some kid at school that day came up to me and said, "Let's play connect the dots on your forehead." The feeling of hatred, sadness filled my gut like a whirlpool, sucking me up. But no, I realized that my insecurities make me who I am. My long legs and arms, my smile, my eyelashes, my eyes, they all build me into the strong, independent girl I am today. What is confidence? It's a sensational ardent you feel when you're leaving home and having to glance in the mirror and say, "Whoa, I look good today." It's a feeling inside that makes you feel strong and powerful and makes you want to go outside and show yourself off because, man, you look good. Depression, sadness, hate, all barriers we can break if we start to love ourselves more for not just what we look like, but for who we are. So please, try this next time you go into your bathroom, to look at yourself. Try looking at all your positives, all the things that build up who you are. And then leave with a smile and knowing that your insecurities are all your perfections because you're beautiful, and never forget that. Thank you.
Thanks, Alexis. Judges, do you need more time or are you ready? We're ready? Okay. Let's see those scores. We have a 4, a 3.5, and another 3.5. Applaud the poet, not the points.
All of you talking about how bullies are very underappreciated.
A save here, a save there, a save everywhere. But wait. Goal! 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 Come on, man. Why did you save that? It's all your fault. What you just witnessed there is what goalies put up with on a daily basis. I speak from experience, where your only judgment is to think I'm inexperienced to the point where it makes you laugh relentlessly. Look at goalies from a different perspective.
We don't just stand in front of the net. We don't just break sweat. We don't look offset. We aren't the ones you should forget. We are much more than that. We are the last line of defense, the ones who make those game-changing saves, the ones who create those game-changing plays. We change the game. But wait. Goal! 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 A man once told me that if you want something enough, you will work for it. And don't let anyone get in your way and discourage you, because the moment you lose faith is the moment you give up on yourself. The next game, it could be the best game you've had in a while. You could be on fire that whole game. But wait. Goal. Although it rarely happens, us goalies could go unscored on in an entire season. But then one game, you messed all of that up. I heard them say, "Good job, you ruined our perfect record. You'll never be a true player on this team. It's all because of you." You know, people should think before they speak. They're the ones showing the true weak. You ruined our perfect winning streak. You want to try and goalkeep? Like, you know what that makes me feel? Do you ever wonder what I feel? No. You just expect from me. But don't worry. We do have those special games. The ones where we're not the cause and blame. The games where we are the one of fame. The games where we are heroic. Goalies live for those games. When you look at a goalie, all you see is them standing in front of the net. Well, that net is our home, and we defend our home like a garden gnome. We are the dream killers of the player dreaming scorers. We are much more in our eyes. We can soar to new heights. You know, people always thought that goalies were crazy. The last time I checked, we don't go running around the whole game chasing a ball. No, they come to us. But wait, stay.
Okay, judges, ready for those scores? Yeah? Okay, let's see it. I see a 4.5, a 4.5, and a 4.5. Next up, we have Amanda, Eric, and Olivia with their poem, Time Goes On.
Until graduation, until school is over.
Until no rules.
I can't wait. Today was the first day of school. We cut up shapes and glued it to a page.
What else would you expect from someone our age?
Wet glue and glitter, I'm a wet glue choice.
First came the glue, that bottle unleashed an explosion. Kind of looked like a dog.
Then I chose the glitter that showed almost as bright as my personality and jumped it.
Everywhere.
If you ask me, it's a masterpiece. The teacher took my masterpiece and posted it to the poster board. I'll be the posted poster champion. But now, she's making me learn to count.
Learn to read. Learn to learn.
Ugh. Today, at recess, I reached the first bar, the first of many to come. Confidence streamed through my veins.
She thought she was on top of the world.
I swung, I reached, and I fell, then screamed. I scraped my elbow. There's a waterfall on my face made of snot, slobber, and tears.
Rumor has it, Niagara Falls originated on her face.
But then, they saved me from the devious monkey bars.
We're best friends now. I told him about the monsters under my bed, the ones that make me scared to be alone.
I had one too.
At lunch we had crackers and cheese.
It was a good day.
I can't wait to see them again tomorrow, but the night feels so wrong.
Why does everything take so long? 6 more years.
Until I'm old enough to be on my own.
Until I can be that eagle soaring through the sky.
Today in school we learned about rocks. It was great.
But all I really want to know is how to predict the next chapter of the book.
And not to overlook the next chapter in my life.
Why are we taught these things in school? I get in trouble for speaking without raising my hand.
But I want to share, but maybe I'm not good enough.
Maybe it's fate.
I just want to be set straight in my own lane.
We started dating.
And I'm really happy with them. They say they're
In
love, but I don't know what to believe. We pinky promised that we'd be there for each other, but now I'm here with a ribbon wrapped around my finger. I feel like I've lost a sister, lost a brother.
What if there's no one to protect us from the monsters under our beds?
3 more years
until I make the rules.
When did 2 plus 2 turn to 2 squared plus 5y?
Time sure seems to fly.
2
more years.
When did my age become 2 digits instead of 1?
2.
3. Take me back to learning how to count.
I got hurt.
She broke my heart.
Now there's no one to protect us from the monsters under our beds.
1 more year, the clock's arms are dancing around.
Where did the time go?
I feel just like I'm a puppet in the show.
We
Graduate
graduate this year. The teacher's making.
Hold on. What?
We graduate this year.
The time we've been waiting throughout all these years, throughout all our fears, has
Finally come.
There's no more time for debating what we'll do.
Waiting for school to be through.
We're hating what life's come to.
I've
learned
learned
a lot over the years.
But now, I know what I wish I knew.
I cared so much what they thought of my hair.
Why?
I stopped caring about what I liked.
Why?
My happiness had no longer mattered.
Why? A line yells down when I want to belong, but my choices throw me out of place.
My puppetry left me alone in my case.
I was left without a base.
My peers' comments created an ocean which had swallowed me whole.
I just want to go back. Back when our problems didn't really matter. Remember when our biggest worry was lunchtime chatter?
When did people become so judgmental? The quiet boys became jerks.
And the sweet girls become.
We were taught to do one thing but expected to do another.
Like I went to speak in class, I must only speak after raising my hand, but not if it's to take a stand.
That's a lesson I learned.
The teacher's tongue used to sing sweet melodies while calling my name, but now it's the bites of a snake.
Why can't you just understand? Sticks and stones may break my bones, and their words will always hurt me.
Oh, how those words have burned.
Then how the tables has turned when I got in trouble for no longer speaking.
When did sleepovers become parties? 2 plus 2 turns to 2 squared plus 5y to 2x squared by negative 2xy. Why?
Over time, there were no longer timeouts.
But just attention, because all I wanted, no, all that I needed was just some attention.
Bikes became cars, kitchen counters became bars, food juice became alcohol, streaks, knees become slit wrists.
My scarf from kindergarten stayed scarred to my elbow, yet my friends seemed to disappear without a trace. Once we were little and only wished to be big, we watched those kids like they ruled it all. We thought,
Man, I can't wait to be that big someday.
And when we got there,
Don't worry,
you got lots of time.
it came.
Showtime. When do we grow up? The day feels like it's over, but it's only just
I
begun.
learned those dancing arms are no enemy of mine. My friend is telling me find monsters under my bed.
12 years I've waited for this day.
But I missed everything along the way.
Okay, judges, are you ready? Okay, let me see those scores. We have 5s all across the board.
And then we have Amina Borokova talking about glass eyes.
It was 3rd grade. We were writing notes when I first noticed it. While everyone around me was writing word after word on paper, the unifying sounds of scratching pencils filled my ears as I realized, to me, the black marks of the markers on the whiteboard sank into the white the way exhaustion pulls people into the pillows that my sight might not be like everyone else's. I stayed silent though. A chicken who jumped up flying, but settled for copying its peers. My fears were getting picked to read the board, even though I loved to read. It wasn't until 6th grade, however, the time I was plucked away from the familiar and plopped into a new school where I didn't have friends to copy off of, and tests became harder to wing, that I decided to speak up. And my voice pushed me into the office. The waiting room was clean and quiet, almost too quiet. It was eerie. It was like I was waiting for a time bomb to go off any second now, after poking and prodding and looking through lenses, calling out letter after letter after letter. Boom. My optometrist's conclusions sank into my chest the way a leaking boat submits into the grasp of the ocean. Nearsighted, she called it, but I swear I heard broken. But she prescribed glass lenses suspended in plastic and asked why I hadn't come in sooner. I lied to her because the truth was I was too far in denial to admit that I had a problem. But regardless of what I thought, I got my first pair. I a new set of glasses, or as I like to call them, glass eyes, because my real eyes are just decoration, but these ones had real function. When I first looked through them, and my sight went from 144p resolution to HD full definition, I was speechless. No words were enough to describe this realization of how much I had been missing. No longer would I have to learn at the front lines, the war zone of a classroom, the place where the general would look directly at you and ask you to read number 3 on the board, please. I struggled and stuttered like a damaged minigun sputtering its last words away from my comrades who preferred to sit at the back, the ones who could see from the back. No longer would the world around me be blobs of colors colored in by an impatient child who had no sense for coloring within the lines. I am that child who sees people as big Lego blocks of colors because that's all I remember. Their faces are censored, their eyes are but shadows among the blend of their skin, all smeared and faceless. No, from now on, I will wear my glass eyes with pride because I can finally see the way the sun shines, the way the rain rinses the earth drop by drop among the individual blades of grass. Instead of clumps of green, I see the tips of mountains and the tops of trees. But most importantly, it's finally clear to me that my world will always be just a little blurry, and I won't be like others no matter how hard I try. But I know I wouldn't change a thing, because in the end, I'm still me, with or without my glass eyes. Thank you.
Okay, so judges, do we have scores yet? Yeah? Okay, let's see them. We got a 4. We got a 4.5. We got a 4.5. Applaud the poet John
Now we have Juan Alonso Sanchez with his poem Perfume.
So sexy. Porque es muy guapo y además está buenísimo. How much damage can a single perfume cause? It's amazing. More than a sex symbol, a single perfume causes you hallucinations. They're like hallucinogenic mushrooms. They're just so unreal. Then you think that you're sexy and beautiful, but the reality is that that girlie that you're getting tonight is not gonna come home with you. But as most things in life, this is because of the unrealistic TV ads that we usually watch. They're all the same. A sexy couple that end up kissing themselves off the cologne? Come on. Absolutely pathetic. Buying a perfume is one of the worst mistakes that one can commit in this life. Not only because of the triple motivational side effects that it has, no. Also because of the robbery that you're just committing. The slap on your chest that you receive of at least $100. That's hard. I'm pretty sure the right cologne that you ordered, because some store clerk said maybe had another very first day, might change by sending your cologne and put your elements fragrance. If you do that, just forget about that crush. But let's not even talk about spray deodorants. Although they cost less, they all still crap. Those TV ads are even worse than fragrances. Those are the real evil. They were usually by the devil. They're like mixing every drug just together in as one same bottle. You're off by the smell. But if you wanna have a relationship, you need more than just a good smell. You need a personality and a life. And don't think just because you smell good, you're gonna be the next Chris Hemsworth. Don't let advertisements fool you into assuming that you're someone that you really aren't. Thank you.
That was awesome. Judges, are you ready? Listen out. We have a 4, and another 4.
Now we got David Cochran on Hope as a Child.
Once upon a time, there was a little girl. A little girl who had an imagination far too big for her puny little head. A little girl who saw life through the eyes of innocence and anticipation. This girl lived freely. Never did she question her purpose or her value. She lived in a warm-hearted house with people who loved her very much. She experienced each moment of her life without worrying about what was to come next. Soon enough, this little girl had turned 7. She expected to receive a cake as tall as a skyscraper, or a tower of finely wrapped gifts covered in bows of all colors just waiting for her little fingers to pry open. Instead, she received a word. A simple but crippling word that would change her 7th year into a year of grief. A word that would change her life forever. Cancer. Your grandpa's being diagnosed with cancer. See, this word didn't strike the little girl right away. Its complexity and horror was incomprehensible for her little brain. Visit upon visit, the word began to sink through her skin and run through the current of her own blood, devouring the hope she was trying so hard to hold on to. Every night, the little girl folded her hands and prayed, looking up for some reassurance. She closed her eyes so tightly, hoping to wake up and have all of the misery just simply disappear. But she woke up, morning after morning, and watched her grandpa smile, and courage dissolve into a brittle and bruised figure that seemed to be living but dead. Pain. All the little girl could feel was pain. It was suffocating her, eating her alive, mutilating every last bit of faith that was stored inside. Are you even up there? Are you even listening? Time went by, and after each day, after each hour, pieces of the little girl began to break. It became almost impossible for her to look at her grandpa and believe that there was still something left inside of him, that there was still a sense of belief or power somewhere tucked away in the agony that was flooding his big blue eyes. Little did she know that the cancer had not only stolen her grandpa's soul, but hers as well. And that's the thing about this word. It tends to create a domino effect, stealing one soul after another, leaving people with nothing but a stone grave of memorial and the last few words to hold on to. 8 years later, and the little girl is still holding on to those words, with a grip so tight that they become a part of her. They have filled the holes of sorrow that were created by the affliction of the present she received on her 7th birthday. Stay strong, my little Ava. God brought you to this world for a reason, and for that reason you shall continue to let your spirit live.
Okay, judges, how are the scores? We're getting there? Okay, we got a 4. We got a 4. We got a 4. Remember, plug the podium out the scores. Now we have Daniel Lazzaroni with his poem, Why I Hate iPhones.
I remember my first iPhone. Well, technically not a phone. A 5th generation iPod Touch purchased by me with my own $200. When I got it, I cherished it and made sure it was safe at all costs, made sure nothing happened to it. After all, it was my $200 I spent. But oh, what a mistake that was. It didn't take me too long to realize that Apple is just garbage. I'm not going to put it lightly, it's just overpriced garbage. Besides AirPods, of course, those are good, but the only good Apple product. And I've never understood why you would spend more money on an iPhone when you can get a Samsung, a phone which is better for cheaper. Now, I'm not just talking about your phone preferences here. I'm talking about the specifications. Samsung has more battery life, more RAM, higher screen resolution, and get this, it has a headphone jack. And on top of all that, imagine spending $1,000, your own $1,000, only for them to intentionally slow it down with each software update. Now, I know they claimed it was to help, to support aging lithium-ion batteries. But let's be real here, they don't really care. They just want you to spend more money on a new phone. And oh sure, it might look nice when it's fresh, new, out of the Apple Store. And everything seems to be working fine, but let me tell you, that feeling will not last long. You're also telling me why Apple's fingerprint ID seems to be the faultiest I've seen. Now, sure, not every iPhone will deteriorate in the exact same ways, But I'm just gonna say, I cannot count the amount of times my mom has complained about her fingerprint not working. Me, I'm fine with my fingerprint ID on my Samsung phone. Never had a problem. And now let's talk about MacBooks. MacBook Air is about $1,500. And you know what you get for that? For $1,500, you only get an i5 processor, 8 gigabytes of RAM, and a 128 gigabyte SSD drive. That's horrible value for your money. My computer is only $1,000 and has an i7 processor, 12 gigabytes of RAM, and a 128 gigabyte SSD, and a 1 terabyte hard drive. But that's not even all. MacBook Airs don't even have an HDMI port. I cannot count the amount of occasions it's time for someone in my class to present some sort of presentation. They go to hook up their computer, only to realize, hey, this cord doesn't fit into any of my ports. But that's because it's an HDMI port, and you don't even have an HDMI port. Now, then they either have to move to someone else's computer, email to the teacher, or whatever. It's just not a pleasant time for anyone involved. Wouldn't it just be so much easier to just get a different computer? A better computer for cheaper. One that at least you can use an HDMI cable with. And speaking of cables, why is that iPhone charger break so easily? Well, what's that? You take care of it, you're not always moving it around, you make sure it doesn't get caught on anything. It doesn't matter. It is going to happen. It is inevitable. Now, there are multiple ways to fix this very simple problem. Apple could do something as simple as making the casing on the wire a bit thicker. That would even help a ton. But will they do that? No, because they don't care about your experience. They want your charger to keep breaking. When you walk into that store to buy a new charger because yours broke, they are smiling. They are laughing at the thought that despite their horrible product and service, they know you're going to keep coming back again and again. This is why I just don't understand why you would buy an iPhone, a trash phone, when there are much better options out there for cheaper. For example, my Samsung Note 9 with 128 gigabytes of storage. Normal price is $1,000. I got it for $600. An iPhone 11 with 128 gigabytes of storage costs about the same price, $1,049. Now, my Note 9 has 6 gigabytes of RAM. Well, or not RAM, sorry. Actually, my phone, Note 9, has 6 gigabytes of RAM, while the iPhone 11, the newest iPhone, only has 4 gigabytes of RAM. The Note 9 has an octa-core processor, while the iPhone 11 only has a hexa-core processor. So if you're thinking of buying Apple, think again. It's just not worth it.
Judges, are you ready for us? Okay. So how are you guys enjoying the film so far? Okay, judges, let's see them scores. We have a 3.5, a 4, and another 3.5.
And now we have our judges on watching your head.
This is one of my techniques, and I just got it, like, not even on YouTube.
Okay, sounds good. Cool. Okay. So our last presenter for Block C, Audrey Giles.
It's 127.
The first thing people say to me when they meet me is, "Hi there, nice to meet you. Wow, you're so tall." Me being the nice person I am, I say, "Yeah, nice to meet you too." But inside my head, I'm like, "Duh, of course I know I'm tall. I'm 5'8" for crying out loud. You don't need to point that out to me. I'm not stupid." Life as a tall person is pretty rough, with dodging all low-hanging signs and ducking under tree branches. Let's not forget about the comments we receive every day. "Hey, how's the weather up there? Wow, you're so tall. I wish I had your height. Could you grab the plates for me? I can't reach them. You're so tall. Do you ever hit your head?" And they just keep coming. Honestly, I don't think us tall people are the problem. I think that most of the population got some weird DNA which made them stop growing at 5'5". Growing up, I was always the tallest. I mean, I seemed pretty average compared to my 6'4" dad and my 6' or taller uncles, until you placed me beside my 5' friends. Then I seemed like a giant. The other weekend I went to my friend's house for a sleepover. We wanted to take pictures for Instagram. Oh, did I forget to mention that both my friends are 5 feet tall? So when they wanted to jump for a picture, I just stood there, because if I jumped, my head would be cut off. And when we wanted to take pictures on the stairs, I had to conceal my legs, otherwise the photo would be off. Later that night when we were going to bed, my friend had the idea that the three of us were going to sleep on the futon. Well, that didn't work out. While my friends were comfortably lying on the futon, my legs were hanging off so much that my feet were touching the ground. So we had to blow up an air mattress for me to sleep on. Another example was when I went to take your kid to work day. And every single time my mom would introduce me to someone, they would say, "Nice to meet you. Wow, she's so tall. Oh my gosh, I know I am." Obviously, I didn't say that out loud, but I wanted to. People really need to have a filter when it comes to commenting on people's bodies. Don't even get me started on dressing up for events. My go-to is Converse, a long dress, and a cardigan. I never wear short dresses because then people would comment on my legs. And I never wear heels because with heels on, I'd be 6 foot. So when I got invited to a semi-formal dinner for my friend's birthday party in December, I panicked because I didn't know if I should be myself and wear what I want, or I should wear a safer outfit. I'm torn. So yes, my name is Audrey. Yes, I'm 5'8". Yes, I'm a size 10 in shoes. I know my legs are skinny, long sticks, and so are my arms, and I have hands that are almost as big as my dad's. I play volleyball not because I'm tall, but because I love the sport. I love myself. Oh, and about that party. I will be wearing a short dress and 4-inch heels because why not?
We wouldn't know about that. Okay, so. Okay, judges, do we have those scores yet? Yeah? Wait. Okay, let's see. We got a 4. We got a 4.5. We got a 4.5. Plug the code, not the score. Let's just give one final applause for all the codes that went this block.
All right, thank you everyone for coming. Now, we're early because I wanted to make sure that we went in half so everyone had the same opportunity for the next block of D. So we're about 15 minutes early. So I need you to look to your teacher to decide and let them decide whether they want you to stay here or go back to class. But you don't leave
So we have another one. This one is, it's like our most recent film. So that was, yeah, as I said, the very first one we did, and this is our most recent. It's called Entropy, and it's very thematic. It's also kind of gross. So just a warning about that. That's all.
Okay, so like a lot of competitions, there are lots of rules, and one of them is no props allowed.
Yeah. Also, I'm pretty sure we're all aware of this, but instead of clapping during the poem when we super agree with something, we're going to snap instead. So let's hear those snaps. Awesome. Thank you.
Okay, at the end of the poem, we clap loudly and enthusiastically, and we reward the poet, not the scores.
So we have our awesome judges over here. We have Mr. Riley, Mr. Kang, and Ms. June. So let's give a round of applause for them. So they're going to be scoring the poems from a number of from 1 to 5. And if you don't agree with their score, you can always scream at the top of your lungs higher and try and bully them into giving the poet a higher score.
So that's the most fun part. There are no phones or talking, and if you really need to use the washrooms, do it in between the poems, okay?
And And of course, as with many of these topics are pretty deep and heavy, if a certain subject matter makes you feel uncomfortable, then quietly excuse yourself and the counselors are on hand if you need to talk to anyone about it.
Okay, awesome. Now with all those rules out of the way, we got Ashley Keynes and
Anna Lukanov with their poem, Taking Too Much for Granted.
Look at us, complaining that we have to go to school, wishing we could just stay at home and do nothing, wishing we didn't have to do homework or projects,
Thinking maybe I should have gotten the shoes in white.
saying you need a new phone because you've had it for a year. Why are we complaining about something we're given when there are people who are wishing we had a place to sleep at night?
When there are people who are living in fear.
Why can't we just get over ourselves and be grateful for what we have? We have all of this and yet we're still sad?
Maybe your house is small, but at least you have a roof over your head.
There are people whose wildest dream is to sleep on a bed.
So why don't you get up and stop crying, darling?
Our first world problems have taken us over and we're forgetting that there are families who are starving.
So what if your phone is too small? You're lucky to even have one at all.
You didn't get white shoes? They're still shoes, aren't they?
To some people, you have the life of a king or queen. You have the money to pay others to cook and clean.
Yet you complain that you have to go to school? Is it really that bad to have people who want to help you learn?
To have people who want to ensure you succeed in life? We need to start realizing that to some,
we have it all. Is everything you have not enough? What more could you ask for?
What more could you possibly need?
What is it with these people and all of their greed?
We should be giving back. It doesn't have to be $100.
It could only be 50 cents.
If we all participate, it'll still add up. Think about the people
Living in a society of poverty, the people being robbed
of their personal property, their hard-earned property.
Imagine what people have to go through just to get some dinner on the table at night.
We have enough food to feed a village stored in our fridge. Why do we focus on making things right instead of the color of our shoes?
Or the length of our hair? We need to change our priorities.
And help the people in need of some fresh air.
We need to start showing that we care.
Before it's too late. We all know that we're being robbed of our humanities, so why not try to save it?
Thank you.
Okay, judges, do we have scores? Okay, let's see. We got a 4, we got a 4, we got a 4.5. Round of applause for the total score.
Next up, we have Janet Yaskovich with his poem, Should I Pretend?
Let me pretend that our life is normal, that we live in a world not curled and bluff. You see, life is an unspoken race formed by society. We are all part of a game, and we are all treated the same. Same rules for each individual, though each single person is different. Same scoring for the same expectations that end up with different gradations. People are missing motivity, and it's all due to the negativity. You see, personally, I love the meaning and embrace of originality. Yet people feel like it's not okay to see beyond one's nationality, and that is what you call ignorant mentality. People are rated by percentage, but creativity is the real advantage. Creativity is what makes you stand out. Trust me, $250 shoes don't make you better, because a good heart is worth a lot more. Being different is cool, but they don't think so at school. Always remember that you should utilize all the strengths. That is the biggest tool. Be proud of who you are. Never let anyone change you. You're a bright and shining star. Never change. Be you. Diversity is just a word. How we look at it is absurd. We look at it as a curse word, but in reality, it's something that should be adored. People are shaped to conform into these robots, not able to express their creativity, distinguishing them from reality. Their feelings are locked, their ideas are locked, and we point out every flaw. Her hair, his eyes, her body, his smile.
makes us beautiful, you wonder, should you pretend that you play sports? That you're cool? Or that you're younger than you are? They say it's key to be like the rest. They say it's key to be the best. But then you realize, life is not about fitting in. It's about standing out. And you should always remember that now is only a moment, and if today is as bad as it gets, understand that by tomorrow, today would have ended, and that by tomorrow, on that new day, things will be better.
Judges, are you ready? Awesome, you've got a 4, a 3.5, and another 3.5. Applaud the poetry number 1.
Okay, now we have Dominique Richard on his to-do list.
Have you ever made a to-do list? A list of all the things you want to do? Maybe you have a list of places you want to go, or a list of sites you want to view. I could go on and on forever, just listing all the things I want to do. But I only have 3 minutes, so I'll only list a few. Number 1 is to travel and explore somewhere new. Go kite surfing would be number 2. Number 3 is to climb a mountain and reach the very top. Number 4, go on a roller coaster with loop-the-loops and drops. Number 5, plant a tree and then watch it grow. Number 6, grow a garden. Number 7, build an entire kingdom, all out of snow. Number 8, write a story with an exciting storyline. Visit an art museum is number 9. Number 10, go zip lining. Number 11, go rock climbing. Number 12, go underground mining. 13, take a ride in a hot air balloon. 14, go for a swim in a lagoon. Number 15, run a marathon. Number 16, watch the sunrise at dawn. Number 17, go camping in the woods. Number 18, visit the Walk of Fame in Hollywood. Number 19, dance in the rain. Number 20, go on a trip to Spain. Number 21, go skiing. 22, go sightseeing. 23, visit Alaska, where the temperature is freezing. Number 24, adopt a pet. Number 25, fly in a private jet. Number 26, go skydiving. Number 27, watch a Christmas tree lighting. 28, go flyboarding. 29, try snowboarding. Number 30, make someone's day. It always feels rewarding. Number 31, go on a cruise ship. Number 32, go on a road trip. Number 33, paint a masterpiece. Number 34, go backpacking in Greece. Number 35, see the northern lights. Number 36, gaze at the stars all night. Number 37, ride bikes on the beach. Number 38, give an inspiring speech. Number 39, learn how to sew using a needle and thread. Number 40, bake a delicious loaf of bread. Number 41, go canoeing. 42 is to go tubing. Number 43, swim with dolphins in Hawaii. 44, scuba dive, build a treehouse. 45, 46, go to a theme park. 47, watch the sunset till dark. Number 48, visit a famous landmark. Number 49, give someone a gift. And last but not least, number 50 is to complete this list. Now go make your to-do list and go have some fun. Life is an adventure, and remember, your adventure has only just begun.
Judges, how are those scored? Let's see them. Okay, we got 4, we got a 3.5, and we got a 3.5. Applaud the poet. Okay, next up we have Matthew Rupert with his poem, One Day.
Growing up, I never strived for anything, never truly lived or arrived at anything. always slacking, lacking, piggybacking off others, never a clear course chart. My life was like a leaky boat with only one phrase keeping me afloat. One day. One day I'll be brave, I told myself. One day I'll be strong. One day everybody will get along. I thought if I believed enough, that I needn't worry about anything. That my life would always be full of joy and laughter. That my life would unfold like a fairy tale, with a perfect happily ever after. One day, I guess deep down even I stopped believing it, and I realized the world's not the picture-perfect place it's so untrue. Up until now, I've always looked up to the heavens, to the stars for answers to my problem, hoping they'd have an answer, hoping they'd have it all figured out, when I should have been looking to where my feet were taking me, to the earth, to the long-forgotten dirt roads, for they showed my life's true direction, no matter how narrow one may be. I'll never get anywhere if I sit around doing nothing with my time. I shouldn't have waited so long to realize my mistake. Now I'm going on 16 with little to no self-esteem, no skills, no interests. I'm as vanilla as you can get. All this wasted time in my prime gone forever. I'll never get it back now. Never. I'll sit with this regret for the rest of my life, looking back on this road I've traveled with tears in my eyes. I've had enough of letting this phrase dictate my life. I'll no longer be a prisoner of my own mind. I will tear away these chains that bind me. I'll change my fate, for it's not too late. I've got to take risks, stand tall, be strong, and above all else, be myself. It's time I take back my reins and reclaim my rightful spot. This is my chance, my day, my shot. Growing up, I never strived for anything, never truly lived or arrived at anything, always slacking, lacking, piggybacking off others, never a clear course charted. That stops today, because today's my day, and I'm going to make the best of it.
Now, judges, do you need more time? So how are you feeling? Great? I thought it was Thursday, not my day. How are we enjoying the poem so far? I feel like we got to... Okay, awesome. Judges, are you ready? Mr. Cancer. We've got a 4, a 4, and another 4. Okay, so we got Olivia McLeod and Abby. Olivia McLeod, with her poem "Fun Fact We Remember."
Fun fact, the Mayflower came to North America 400 years ago, beginning the relationship of natives and Europeans. Fun fact, we welcomed them with open arms into our homes with truth and trust. Fun fact, we brought with them the Spirit of God and how He can save us all. Fun fact, we shared with you our stories and our ways, but we enjoyed your stories and your ways, but God didn't. Who's God? We'll teach you. Fun fact, we shared with them many gifts, including the warm wool blankets to keep them warm in the winter. Fun fact, whether they knew it or not, those blankets carried diseases and killed many of my people. Fun fact, we gave them their own land and promised them a nation within a nation. Fun fact, the land was poisoned and unlivable. We couldn't survive. Even the animals wouldn't live up there. Fun fact, we were just trying to save you. Fun fact, you were trying to kill us. We were fine on our own. You needed our help. You would have died with how are you so sure? They think they're better than us, but that's impossible. We're the best. They don't stand a chance. Maybe they're just trying to help us. We should give them a chance. God is the only God in this world, and that is fact. Left and right, there is hate hidden within the words of faith. We'll help them, make them understand that they are wrong, and I am right. I can show them the light. We can live together in peace, side by side. Take their children, that's the way, so they don't hear what their parents say. Now they're taking our children. This is not
Help, I'm sad. How sad? Help, I'm sad. How sad? I'm not sure. But one thing's for sure, I don't belong. Seems the standard's too high, I can't measure up. There's no half full or empty when there isn't a cup. Don't feel I belong, and these people that sneer leave paranoid rumblings that scream in my ear. Depression sets in, leave me guessing which grim way out do I take? Do I jump, fly, or swim, or walk out into the lake? When I feel so alone, I'll sink if I float with these pockets of stones. You could cry out for help, but your tongue just stays dumb, and you try to think different, but your mind is so numb. It's hard to rewire and very unnerving when you have no self-worth and you feel you deserve it. I need someone to talk to, who I trust most, but I'm left all alone to talk to your ghost. I got so much to tell you, but I called and you wrecked it. It's just a telephone company saying the phone's disconnected. The number you have dialed is no longer in service. Please call your provider and ask for assistance. When I need you most, you're not here. Help me get through this. I'm not thinking clear. When I look, I'm unsure if I even should bother. It's like trying to breathe underwater. And these voices keep saying you have so many friends, but which ones are real? Which ones are pretend? Such a bright future. How could you feel so unloved? But if it's not from within, you just feel without. If I tell you truly who I really am, it all gets so quiet and the lions feast on lamb. It's hard to expose your vulnerable self. In such a vicious world, it's hard to say help. I need someone to talk to, who I trust most, but I'm left all alone to talk to your ghost. Again, I called, but you wrecked it. It's just a telephone company saying the phone's disconnected. The number you have dialed is no longer in service. Please call your provider. This number is for purchase. When I need you most, you're not here. Help me get through this. I'm not thinking clear. When I look, I'm unsure if I even should bother. It's like trying to breathe underwater.
It was awesome. Thank you so much for that, Jesse. Judges, how were those scores? Awesome. Let's see them. 4.5. Another 4.5 and a 4. Keep it up for the So well, they're just doing their thing. How are we feeling about the poems now, guys?
Friends, please don't leave me. I did not do anything wrong. Please love me. What did I do? Am I not good enough for you? Not pretty enough to see? Brought you everything you'd ever need. You're a little mean. Now you're the best you've ever been. Sad to know you've changed. While I'm here, I've stayed the same. With all things come and gone, through thin and thick, life just goes on. Friends, please don't leave me. Am I not funny? Made fun of myself so you could laugh at me. All my problems turned into comedy gold. But you did help me out of that hole. Friends, can I ask why? Why you'd be okay if I ever did die? For your love of popularity, I could spare our incompatibility, but you gave me impenetrability and the ability to accept loneliness. Would you catch me if I fall, or would you leave me there with all my pain and despair, breathing in the cold, thin air, while I stare into the sun and blind myself from everyone who ever did me wrong, and pick myself up off the ground because nobody came around to take my hand and help me out, make up for all they messed up. Friends, can I ask you how you were able to leave so easily? Was I the bad guy? Was I that cruel? Have you not heard the golden rule? treat others the way you want to be treated, but you never said you may be seated. But I'm still something that's never beaten. Those exceptionally high standards you uphold for others, while you're sitting there with a low standard lifestyle. So, think about your life, and was it right to leave me behind? In the dirt of your trail, my heart felt frail, and you had to bail, but your love must have been braille, because I wasn't able to read it. Dearest friends, teach me to be you, because something inside me says to. Fit the mold that would not fit me, love myself so differently, narcissistic me hovers over thee, the old me, the one that had modesty, not the fake stuff that drives me crazy. Now, make me move, I won't budge. Life is something I'll have to trudge through, not to find you, but to find me. Please learn to treat everyone equally, with the respect they deserve, and remember that golden rule. Please don't lean on me like I'm a stool. Treat others the way that they'll treat you.
Judges, how are the scores cooking up? Okay, we got a 4, we got a 4, we got a 4. Applaud the poet, not the score. Now we have Ayu's son with her poem, her words. Thank you. No, thank you. I don't like you. I like you. Those are simple expressions that she uses. Her mouth is shelled with 1,000 of words at the tip of her tongue, not being able to spit it out because expressing is not her thing. Holding on to those words she wanted to spit out, but instead, leaving the other person confused because her mouth was zipped. Words are so precious and fragile. One word can break a whole heart, one word can light up a person's face, and one word can end up being stuck in someone's mind forever. But she has grown. Her inner voice has grown, yet her outer voice still doesn't know how to speak. She opened her voice for the first time, but she ends up spitting out the words she doesn't remember saying. Those words have become a weapon to her and others. Defending and protecting has turned to a weapon. So she kept those inner and outer voice to herself, but she let out the words she knew were valuable. She spoke up for what she thought was right, but she knew that those words weren't valuable to others. Those words were only valuable to herself. So she kept her mouth filled with 1,000 of words, but those words started breaking her into pieces. So she expressed, accepted, and exhaled. She expressed her inner voice, but she knew that those words will slam down like a big wave. She accepted the way she thought and accepted the way other people thought, because they also have their own voice inside of them. Lastly, she exhaled. She breathed out. She allowed her words to be stress-free. She gave them space. She allowed her words to have their own opinions because she and her words were not the opinion of other people. But she had hunger for when she was younger, because her words used to be gentle and not mental. Her words used to be soft and easy. Her words used to be valuable to her and others. Her words used to have their own feelings, so they would go dealing with troubles. But that was only when she was little. Her words were only gentle when she was a little lamb. But now she was bitter, but she realized she should be better. Because she realized it wasn't her words that grew, it was her that grew. It wasn't her words that had their own feelings, it was her that had her own feelings. It wasn't words that were fragile, it was her that was fragile. It's not words that were precious, it was her that was precious. So she expressed, accepted, and exhaled again, but this time with herself. She expressed the way she felt because she knew she had her own feelings. She accepted who she was and how she felt because she knew she was different. She exhaled to give herself some space because she needed a break. She was free from the weapon of her words. She was now gentle and valuable to her and others because she learned from that little girl from 10 years ago. That little girl was always happy and bright, but now, so was she. Thank you, that was awesome. All right, judges, how are the scores? Awesome. Awesome. So we have a 4, and another 4. Give it up for the
Now we have Amelia Sinnott on the trumpet.
To run. An action verb. The action of editing. Now, when I start my journey in running, I start with one foot after another. Thud, thud, thud. That's the sound of my heart, my feet, and the imaginary monster behind me forcing me to keep going. Because if it's not there, I'm not there. I will go to every measure to not have to run. Come up with these excuses like, my finger hurts, I rolled my ankle getting out of bed this morning. All these excuses, yet I'm still running. Because I think to myself, it's going to be different this time. Spoiler, it's not. I'm running, the fierce pain crawling up my legs like the rising sun each morning. Slow and fiery. The burning embers biting away at my last existence. I start to feel like my life is ending, like I'm finally done. Then I look up and I think in my head, I'm almost there, I've made it. But then I turn around and I realize I have to go back. I realize that I still have more left. I realize that I still have a mile left. I realize that my brain had taken parts out of the map like this run was taking parts of me. Then the thoughts fill my head. I'm never gonna make it. I should just take the L, finish this nightmare, and get out of this hell. But no, there's that imaginary monster behind me, the one who made me do this in the first place. I start off slow again, a good pace, those nut-tails coming. Is it winter? No. It's the painful, the tiny, and massively raw, red, angry blisters. Now those are a whole nother level. They stay forever. They stay through the thick and the thin, then the thinner until boom, there's no thin, there's just skin. The skin that's waving in the wind like a white flag saying, we surrender, we need a truce. I can't go through this anymore, this is self-abuse. I'm breathing heavy as people pass me by saying, you got this, you're almost there. Little do they know, I'm already done. I was done when I started this. Now this is the aftermath. I've gone into the light and disintegrated into spite. Running is like that annoying cold you just can't shake. You think, I'm done, I won. But then, there it is again. But after all that pain and suffering, those deep, deep times, I finally made it. I turn around to that monster to prove that I completed it. I stick out my tongue and say, ha, I defeated it.
That was awesome. Thank you.
Okay, we got 4.5, and a 4. Remember, applaud the poet, not the
Next up, we have Victor O'Neill with his poem, The Effects of Words.
I was going about. I was going across the border to buy some back school clothes with my mom. We set at a hotel for one night. One night we were hungry, so we decided to get some Denny's. Walk into Denny's, continue walking, continue walking. 1 step, 2 step, 3 step, stop. Awaiting at a crosswalk. Silence. And the truck rapidly passes by. Nigger. He was gone in a second. My stomach shriveled up. My white mother standing in disbelief. She was in denial of what happened. That her 13-year-old biracial son's voice was framed. I was wearing a shirt that read Canada that day. Some would say that was a potential factor, but I don't think so. Oh, that smug black and white Canada shirt. I don't think so. It probably thought it'd be funny to call a child a racist slur. Furthermore, he was a coward. To say it and drive away. What was I supposed to do, run after him? I just brushed it off and went to Denny's. I couldn't think straight. We were in Washington at the time, which I thought was pretty progressive, so that didn't really make sense to me. Then I realized that this is America. The same America that kills unarmed black men due to police brutality. The same America that didn't allow black people to vote. The same America that didn't let black Americans into their baseball league. But what really affected me the most as a black person wasn't being called the worst word I could be called by a stranger. It was when I heard about the Columbine shooting. Not the whole thing overall, but what happened to one individual, a black student that attended school. He was hiding in the library at the time when the shooters walked in and said something on the lines of, "Hey, there's a nigger over here." They moved him, antagonized him, made fun of him. The last words before he was shot in the head were, "I want to see my mama." That hit me harder than any one word could. Thank you.
Thank you for that, Quentin. That was awesome. Okay, judges, let's see those scores. Okay, let's see those scores. Okay, we've got a 4, a 4.5, and another 4. Okay, now we have Peter Simpson on expectation.
When she looks in the mirror, she doesn't see anything with admiration. She puts herself down. They can give her accommodation, but when they tell her she's pretty, she refuses to believe them. She tells herself the compliments are out of sympathy. Yet she feels the need to be approved. We have 2 boxes. Girl, smiling all the time, holds her tongue. Big boobs, big butt, big lips, small everything else. Boy, doesn't show his emotions. Daring, muscular, tall. If people don't fit in this mold, they're not good enough. Society has double standards. You need to have self-confidence, but don't be too self-confident or conceited. You need to be a certain way. Oh, you're skinny? You must be anorexic. You're chubby? Go on a diet, slob. You got an abortion? You're a selfish murderer. You're a teen mom? What a slut. And you have the audacity to ask why she hates herself. You ask this question while you enforce the expectations. Do you not see what is happening? There is no gray, only black and white. She can't hardly stay awake. She's up all night while her demons are whispering, evading and becoming more and more painful. She starts listening. You say she just wants attention. You tell her to lose weight. You point out her flaws. All of this builds up to a breakdown. These battles are not commercial. You don't know if she's struggling. As a result of your expectations, she's stuck in a room. Not to mention there are 3 doors, one of them is safe, just hitting each path has bad intention. Hang on. The entryway that started this mess. It's open. This path isn't paved. It's long and seemingly endless. She grits her teeth and walks through the door. Thorns are running through her skin. It would be easier to turn around. Why does she begin? She just wants to land on the ground, but she can't, because the ground is covered in shards of glass. She reaches the end. There is a mirror. She grabs it, looks at it. They say beauty is in the eye of the beholder. And when she looks in that mirror, she is the beholder.
Thanks, Sophia. That was awesome. All right, we got a 3.5, 3.5, and a 4.
start to get nervous and they're calling you names like baby, but you think to yourself, don't fall for their games. But little did you know it's going to get worse. They start to get closer, so you pretend you're on the phone with your sister, but this time your plan doesn't work. You start to get tense, your palms getting clammy, your heart beating faster than ever, and yet they're still yelling those words. Suddenly you feel hands on the back of your neck. You start to sweat as they grab your breast. Then what happened? Who knows? Or should I say, who cares? Things like this happen to women every day, but what are we doing about it? Sure, post on Instagram, give it some recognition, but what else happens and who does it affect? Sexual harassment. Those two words that we think we know everything about, when really the stories aren't heard. This girl finally got her first job that she's been waiting for. She's telling her friends that it's wonderful, but her boss is being a little too touchy. It's okay though, at least you get the money, they say. A couple days later, she's lost her virginity. By who? She can't say because she needs the money to support her family. The next day, she sees her friends again. She's lovely and is filled with glee, but in the inside, she's thinking about how he forced her to call him daddy. She feels nasty, ugly, and empty. Studies show that 80% of women in the U.S. are affected by sexual harassment in a job environment. Now, that's just only for a job environment, but imagine women all around the world. Most women can't even admit that they just got sexually harassed. It could be by anyone, a family member, a boyfriend or girlfriend you love, or even a so-called friend you trust. It's a nightmare we cannot escape. What should we do about it? Go to the police? But that doesn't change the way we feel. People expect us to heal from this experience, but when? The time when we were shouting no, but he just thought it was moans? Or the time where she tried to get the phone, but no, he wouldn't let her. Now imagine if this girl was in a wealthy family, so she didn't need a job. But somehow, she still got sexually harassed. Ah, yes, it was her stepfather. And when she tried to tell her mother, he said, you tell anyone and I will go for your younger sister. So of course she's not going to tell. But even if she did, her mother would just think it was one of those lies, no matter how much she cries. Maybe she's desperate for attention. People at school are saying that. More people are hearing about the rumors, and she does get the attention, just not the kind she wants. All these boys on her Snapchat asking her for nudes, and if she doesn't give it to them, they will tell everyone they know about how she got drunk at a party and forced herself onto them, when really, she didn't even know who these boys were. Now that's just a story I created. Those words, that's just a story. When actually girls have to go through this every day, but I guess it's just a story, right? I hope people know something about sexual harassment. Not everything, but something. I hope people understand why us girls have to go through a panic every time we cross a middle-aged man. We don't feel safe no matter how safe we really are. Thank you.
Are we ready? Okay, awesome. We've got a... Give it up for the poetry, not the points. So guys, that was our last poem of the day. Good should I talk about? Okay, so quickly, I'm just gonna put a little advertisement in here. We have a spoken word club that's starting up this year for Hullabaloo, which is a youth spoken word festival that happens at the Vancouver Public Library every April. People from all over the province come to compete, and it's some awesome poetry gets said there. So it will be on the announcements. The meeting will be at lunch on Fridays in Miss Thompson's room. So keep an ear out for that.
So yeah, guys, if you want to say your poems again, completely okay. You got it here.
sit down.